Good morning, students. We are now going to do our after start checks on the forklift, and to do that we first mount the forklift always using 3 points of contact. One on the handle here, one on the seat here, and our foot on the footwell. We use these same 3 points of contact for getting on and off the forklift every time. We hop on the forklift. First thing we do is put our seat belt on and adjust the seat so we're comfortable. We will then take out the keys, turn the keys, put the keys in the ignition. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the forklift on, and we will check the gauge, which is on this side of the forklift, to see how many hours the forklift has been operating for. We adjust our mirrors to make sure we have sight behind us. We now come down on this forklift. We will check the gauge. You will notice on this gauge it has those little squares. What that allows us to know is where our wheels are pointing, which in this case shows they're pointing straight forward at the moment. Put our gauge. As you can see, this particular forklift has been working for a total of 225.2 hours. I am now going to check my lights, my warning systems, my indicators. Turn my lights on, make sure they're working. I then come to the back, make sure my flashing light's working and my 3 metre exclusion zone light is working. I'll put my foot on the brakes, check that the brake lights are working. I will now turn on the left hand side indicator. I see it's working at the front. I check that it's working on the back. I will now repeat that process for the right hand side indicator. I see it's working at the front. I now check that it's working at the back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to test the hydraulics of the mast. So I will raise the mast up to eye height. I already have the mast at forward tilt, so I know it tilts forward. I will now bring it back with back tilt, and then take it to mast vertical by using the button on the middle controller and pushing that forward to where at mast vertical, which is the place for the mast to be. I'm now going to check the side shift on the forklift to make sure that's working correctly. I will check the left hand side first. So we check all the way across the left hand side. I will now check all the way across the right hand side. Once we've done that, we move the mast back to the middle so we have optimum stability of the forklift. I will now lift the forks all the way up in the air to make sure the hydraulics are operating correctly. Now we've checked that the hydraulics are operating correctly. We're also going to check our other warning systems. We're checking our horn, and we're going to check our reverse beeper. Notice I have the handbrake on. I don't have my foot on the accelerator. At the moment I'm just putting it into reverse after checking behind me, looking over both shoulders to make sure that it is safe and clear behind me. I put it into reverse, and you can hear the reversing beeper. So we now know that all 3 of our warning systems are working correctly. What I will now do is I will now check the handbrake. That is done by engaging forward gear, add a bit of pressure on the accelerator. As you notice, the forklift doesn't move, so the handbrake is working fine and forward. We will now do the same process in reverse, again, checking over both shoulders to make sure that behind us is clear. We put the forklift in reverse. A little bit of accelerator, we know that the handbrake is working in reverse. We will now do the same process by releasing the handbrake and checking that the foot brake works in both forward and reverse directions. We release our handbrake. We will proceed to go forward. We will drive forward. Stop. Confirming that our foot brake is working fine when it's driving forward. We will now kick over both of our shoulders before we put the forklift in reverse. We will put the forklift in reverse. You will hear our warning systems going. It also beeps the horn. We will now drive back in reverse. Checking that the foot brake works in reverse, which it does. Now we need to check the steering of the forklift, which we will do by doing a little figure 8 forwards and then a little figure 8 in reverse. We're now going to drive forward to check the steering. Our steering works fine and forward. We will now do the same process in reverse. Once again, check over both of our shoulders before engaging reverse. Put the forklift in reverse. For our warning system, hit our horn, and now drive back to a little figure 8, making sure that our steering is working correctly in reverse, which it is. After checking all that, we will now park the forklift up and proceed to do our post-operational check. The first thing we do to make sure the forklift is safe, we put the handbrake on, we will tilt the mast forward and lower the tips to the ground, thereby eliminating a trip hazard. We will now turn the forklift off and remove the key. I'm Mike Rennie. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video educational.